Good evening and welcome to the preview of Emirates Day for the Spring Attack. 9 races. At this stage it looks like we'll probably consider playing a quaddie and maybe two pick fours possibly. Certainly in the Emirates we'll play there, and not too sure about the sprint race. I don't think there's a great deal of depth in the race, so we'll have a closer look at that. Race 1 we're not interested in. Race 2, not much of a race. I think the winner's probably going to come out of Seismo, Proverb. Zavi's an interesting one. It was a nice run last start. Just went a bit too hard in front. If they can get it to settle a bit better, it's got a chance in a race like this. But not a race with a great deal of depth. Got 3 on top from 4 and 11. Chances to 2, 8, 9 and 13. Race 3. Sharalam looks ready to win now. Its first up run was good, second up run was better. Gets a bit too far back. That's the risk with it, of course. It'll be giving him a nice start, but can see it running home nicely over the top of these. Not a lot of depth in this race either. I think the dangers are going to be 3 Backbone, probably the 4 High Octane, chance to number 6 Belthor. Not a race with a lot of chances. 10 on top from 3, 4, 6. Chances to 1, 9 and 5. Race 4, 3-year-old race. I think the Sydney form's probably a little bit stronger. 1 Barbed. Should have won easy last start. Missed the start by 3 or 4 lengths. Got beaten half a length. Runs up to that will win this. Won't be any fancy price. Chances to 3 Suavito and 7 Burnrow. I don't think there's too many chances outside it. Maybe 11 and 6 Riker and Apollo's Choice, but not a betting race for us. Race 5, tough race here. The favourite's Lady Sententian. He should have won both of its last 2 runs, but M Payne is absolutely no use to it at all. Slaughtered it 2 starts ago. Even worse last start, 5 wide fighting. I was hoping for a riding change. Hasn't come. Can't tumble into this at 5 to 2, 3 to 1 with her riding it. Happy to go around it. Queenstown, the form's solid enough coming out of Sydney, and then was strong at Moonee Valley. Wouldn't need to improve much to win this. It's probably the one to beat, and probably a bit more bulletproof than the other one. Nash is riding it. Barrier 18's the negative. Girella, it was strong enough in a much harder race than this. Dolly Dolly made nice ground last start. It's got a chance. At Pingle, now it looked a chance last start, and then got shuffled back mid-race and closed off okay. It's had 5 runs at the distance for 5 placings, so probably getting up to the right ground now, so give it a chance. Finished up 7 on top from 2, 11, 13. Chances to 16, 4 and 6. We go to the first leg of the quaddie. It's the sprint race. If Lucky 9 handles the straight down Flemington, it'll win. It's had a few goes down the straight at Sha Tin, but that's 1,000 metres and got rolled. The extra 200's obviously in its favour. The trainer declared before the first up run it was underdone. It'll be ready for this race. He's probably right. I think the danger's Shame Express and Fontalina. Now these are both 16, 20 to 1. They're well over the odds in a race like this. Buffering, I think there's just a bit too much speed here. I think they'll go with it. And Lucky 9 will beat it wherever they finish. So I'm not interested in Buffering. The moment of change, there's too many mistakes with it. I think 1 on top, chances to 7 and 8. Next best, obviously, 2 and 6. It's not a race with a great deal of depth. Race 7, we go to the Emirates. Interesting race from a handicapping point of view. Very important to note that it's been a long time. Not many horses win this race with more than 55.5 kilos. So that's my cut-off point. Not real keen on backing anything above 56 kilos. So automatically rule out Sultanistan, Boban, Sacred Falls, Toydini. Top weights, only 2 in about 30 years have won this, so this is a low weight handicapping race. Looking at the weights, I've gone for number 14, Spurtonic. Now, its form's solid enough. It was a good run with 53 kilos in the mile race in Sydney that Boban won. Now, Boban that day was level weights with it. And now all of a sudden, Boban's got to give this thing 4.5 kilos for beating it half a length. On the weights, Boban cannot beat this. In actual fact, most of the horses coming out of the Sydney race that finished behind Boban should beat it home at the weights. It's been crucified at the weights. All right, it's 2 wins. Its win in Sydney was good. Its win in Melbourne was probably glorified a bit by the fact that it got the miracle run right through along the rails when everybody shifted out. Sacred Falls, I think it's handicapped right up to its best, and it needs a wet track really, so happy to go around it. The top weight, Solzhenitsyn, didn't run 2,058 kilos. That's just too much for it, I think. And Toydini, well, it's coming out of the Sydney form also, and the weights just are against it. I've got 14, as I said, Spurtonic on top at a price from 15 Strike the Stars. Now, this should have won last start. It was a very, very ordinary ride to settle it back, and instead of coming and taking off at the 600 and going around him, he went looking for runs all over the place, and they never came. And then eventually the penny dropped for him, and he went out at the 200 when the race was over and come flying home. It'll be ideally suited in this. Speediness, it's ready to win. Should have won last start. It's ready to win. It's quite capable of winning a race at this level. And Linton's the interesting one. Barrier 1 now. He could settle it up a lot closer in this. And got shuffled back at a critical stage last time, and then there was no bigger late. It's going to be, must be included. And the Kiwi horse Nashville's an interesting one. It's got really good form over there at group level. Goes good at the distance, goes good fresh. So it's been freshened up 3 out of 3 first up. 35 days, won't bother it one bit. Good to deads its go, so I think it must be included. I've had something on it at the 40s and 50s, so it's over the odds. Finished up 14 on top from 9, 15, 5, 8, 10. It's a good betting race. Certainly we'll be playing the pick 4 and probably just putting the favoured ones in to run 2nd and 3rd. Race 8, awful race over 2,600. Let's Make a Deal, probably on its last run, goes close to winning this. Precedent, Sertorius, Kaleni and Shoreham, they look the only real chances in the race. Maybe Verdant, if it was to run up to its best form. It's a race of dogs, really, and it's just a matter of which one performs best on the day. Not a race I like. Unfortunately, it's a leg of the quaddie. We'll probably have to go a little bit wide because they're just so unreliable. 4 on top from 2, 5, 1, 7, 11. And the last race, Henwood was a good thing beaten first up. Never got a run in all the way down the straight. But it was in a race last weekend. They scratched it because it drew 19. I'm hoping that they let it run from 13. If it starts, it'll go close to winning. The danger is going to be Disciple. The negative with it is Newitt. So we have to take our chances with that. Limes, now this was not a bad run first up and given a soft trial since, so it's got to go in. Longport was a big effort first up off a gap, and interesting to note it goes much better second up. Must be a chance in a race like this. And Caractacus, it was good for last start down the straight, and this is certainly right up its alley. They look the 5 winning chances. Doesn't look like anything else has got any hope in the race. 9 on top from 5, 7, 2 and 3. Got Chartin on Saturday. There's unraced in quite a few of the, I think 3 of the races. there's no jackpots, and if there was, we'd be ruled out anyway. Race 6 has got unraced, so it knocks us out of TT and 6-up play. We'll have a quick look at that one tomorrow and do a preview, see if I can find something there for a parlay. Otherwise, we pass the entire meeting at Shartin and wait until next Wednesday there for the jackpot. Good luck if you play on the weekend, and I hope you have some success. Thanks for tuning in, guys.